back with more My Southern Home, and I'm here with Steve Adams with Bob Hayes Realty Group. And thanks for joining us, Steve.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
So I love this house that you took us to because it's very rustic and the view's fantastic.
It's a nice one. The folks have been here about 5 years and have decided to kind of move on and do something else. And in fact, when I first came out to list it, I gave some thought. I said, you know, this would be a great house for me. And then I kind of got through that and said, no, I think I'll pass on this. It's very nice, though.
Well, one of the neat things about having an experienced realtor on like yourself is to let people know what the process is right now and what to think about if they're getting ready to put their home on the market.
Well, the first thing that people normally think about is what they want, what amenities, where they want to be, instead of, I think, positioning financially, you know, and making sure they're not overextending on houses that they may or may not be looking at, selling theirs. And there's so many things that go into it early on, as opposed to what colors you're picking out or what type of furniture you're gonna put in the new one.
Well, there's so much that goes into selling a house and purchasing a new one that a lot of people don't think about. And that's why it's so important to use a professional like yourself and create a team around you so that all of the decisions that you make are good decisions.
No, that's exactly right. I have a very good strategic alliance with a lot of different mortgage lenders, pest inspections, radon folks, and everyone. So we've really built a great strategic alliance. So, you know, a lot of people come into it blind and they need that direction when they are, you know, some folks, they've been in the same house 30 or 40 years and they don't have those contacts, so they reach out. They're dependent upon you to kind of point them in the right direction.
Well, and if you haven't sold a house in 30 or 40 years, which that means you haven't purchased a home in
That's
30
right.
to 40 years, and you really need to be educated on the market that you're buying in because it's a completely different market even just 6 months ago.
It is, and you know, think about what technology was like 30 or 40 years ago. It wasn't even around like things are now. So people, you know, the older generations really struggle with a lot of the, the Zillow or the Realtor.com or some of those things, and they still have landlines in their phones, in their homes, and so things have changed dramatically.
So what kind of advice would you give that home buyer out there right now that's getting ready to go through this process and purchase a home?
Early on, they need to reach out to a lender, either through a friend or a family member. Someone can refer them to a credible lender, whether it's a bank or a standalone mortgage company, a friend or a family member that's had a good experience with someone, and call and get the process started so you're not wasting your time or anyone else's time. See what you're eligible for. See, you know, from mortgage rates to the cost associated with it. Things have changed in a big way, but you have to be positioned. You know, we're in a market now where the inventory is so low, it's created a very high demand. So the buyers that are out there, they're writing contracts as soon as they walk into the house. And you remember how it was, like you said, 6, 8, 10 months ago, there was multiple offers, 10, 12, offers on houses. So that has simmered down some. But it is all about being prepared and positioned when you go in and look at a house. You know, you need to have guns loaded to be ready because there's people right behind you that are doing the same thing, and you hopefully will have those things in place.
So you mentioned being positioned. In your opinion, what does that look like for someone that's out buying a home right now?
Overall, I think most folks have. If I talk to them early, we go through that a lot, you know, and they will, if they've got, you know, some things that they need to clean up or maybe a few credit cards or a car that's about ready to be paid off. You know, we live in a very impatient society, so people want to do something now. So when you tell them that they have a few things they need to do beforehand, it's frustrating, but, you know, houses pop up every day. Even though the inventory is low, there's still, you know, there's relocations, there's estates, there's divorces, unfortunate circumstances, and opportunities where people are relocating out of town. So, you know, the housing market, if you're out there working it, if you're out there making your phone calls as a real estate agent and doing all the right things, there's opportunities available out there.
Steve, I've been to a lot of gorgeous homes here lately that are kind of outside Jefferson County. Are you seeing more homeowners gravitate outside for the price point?
No question. I'm seeing more and more people that will call and say, Steve, we're trying to find something maybe on 1, 2, 3 acres. And I said this several years ago after everything was going on with the pandemic. People have really started to reassess a lot of different things in their lives. I think many that have been in their corporate positions for 20 or 30 or 40 years or whatever it may be, they just want to kind of slow down and decompress, and the calls have never been more frequent than they are now. I have folks as far as Elizabethtown or maybe Oldham County or Goshen or here in Shepherdsville, which we're really close to a lot of different things out in this area, Bernheim Forest and the distilleries, and we're close to the Bourbon Trail, so wineries and so many different things out here. So this house gets significant activity on it, and I think it's because of the area, the acreage, the nostalgia of being out just a little bit, and kind of getting away from the city. I'm seeing that, no question.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciated being with you today.
No, thank you very much.
We'll be back with more My Southern Home in just a moment.